Dato Ruby Khong. Yeah, we are extremely excited and honored that she is taking time from her busy schedule. I know her family is here. Yes, and the huge Kechara's Soup Kitchen supporters. So Dato Ruby is the president of the Kechara Soup Kitchen. She's also a mother of 3 beautiful children who have come here to support her. And they actually have joined her organization as well. She's also a director of International Petroleum Company, and they distribute food packets. Before it was 20 food packets per week at 2006 to more than 1,300 packets per week. And not only that, they actually have a permanent soup kitchen in Jalan Imbi. And so this lady, yes, she's a socialite, she does a lot of community service work, she's also a mother, but you can also see her in the streets as well. So she is at the grassroots level as well. And let's give a big round of applause to Dato Ruby Khong.
Thank the Kecharians who have shown up, in hordes to this evening. Thank you so much, and it's really comforting to see familiar faces. It helps a lot. And to all the new faces, I hope I'm able to share something that's of essence and which you can use in other aspects of your life. Well, like as Merlo has just introduced me, I'm Ruby, and no, I'm not homeless. I've been quoted to be a homeless. There was once, just about a year ago, I started receiving emails and SMSs, and they said, "You are such an inspiration." And I was like, oh, okay. Little did I know that the news was already out. What happens was Forbes was wanted to list me as one of the 48 Asia Heroes of Philanthropy. And it was a tele-interview from New York. And he asked me, he said, what inspired you to do Soup Kitchen? And I explained, because he was my spiritual guide, his Samtuku Rinpoche, whom himself was a homeless in his teenage years. And he experienced life as a homeless, and hence, that's where the inspiration came from. They misquoted, and they said that she was a homeless in her teens. So since that day, I learned a hard lesson: never grant a tele-interview. Anyway, I'm not homeless. My 3 kids are here with me. Thank you. A question that I've been asked most often is that, why did you pick to do Soup Kitchen? How did it start? Who inspired you? Where did you get your funds from? I think all these questions will lead you to the floor. But before that, let me just introduce myself a little more. Years ago, I was really a tennis fanatic. I would play tennis every day, come home, shower, go to the gym, and weekends go clubbing, and I thought that was really cool. Really, I thought that was life. It wasn't until about 4 years ago that my spiritual guide, whom I met way back in 1994, I was at the crossroad of my life. I was very fortunate to have met him on my pilgrimage, and the rest is history. Anyway, 4 years ago, he told a group of us, and he said, there are many homeless and urban poor here in Klang Valley, and he said, why don't a group of you just go out during the weekend and distribute food? The first thing that crossed our mind, Saturday night, that is our only night out. Well, we thought about it. It was a good advice, and hence a small group, just about 5 people, got together, went down to the mama store to buy food, and we went down to the streets. Now, what really is amazing on this piece of advice is that my spiritual guide told us is that when you go down to the streets to feed, please do not discriminate. Because if you were to x-ray the stomach of a hungry person, it doesn't show his gender, it doesn't show his age, it doesn't show his religion, nothing. It just shows a hungry stomach. Hence, feed without discrimination and make sure that your food is halal so that everyone eats with a peace of mind. And you know, that is the most beautiful thing that we heard. So that we started off by giving halal food, but along the way it slowly evolved to become vegetarian food, and it's been about 2.5 years. It wasn't easy to start. When we started, you know, we didn't know where to find the homeless, and what came to our mind is that, come on, this is Kuala Lumpur, it's a city, where are you going to find homeless? I know. And the first week we found 20, the second week we found more volunteers came in, they saw what we're doing, they liked what we're doing, and we slowly evolved to become, we were giving 300, 500, 800 packets every week. And it was then that we said, okay, let's get ourselves more organized and let's register with the Registrar of Society. So we're a registered NGO, and you know, since then there was no stopping back for us. So when I received the email from Live and Inspire, and I saw the Starbucks sign there, I was like, oh, Starbucks. You know, I come from an era whereby when we say that, oh, go and buy Colgate, huh? Dude, that is toothpaste to us, is Colgate. Or you said, hey, want to have my Maggie mee? Maggie mee means instant noodle. For me, Starbucks is coffee, Starbucks. There's no other thing as any other brand, I don't know. I love Starbucks, I live on Starbucks and Coke. No, I'm not endorsing them. But I was really excited. I said, wow, Starbucks, okay, I'm going to do this. And here I am. So there's a little bit of introduction about myself. I think let's do this, you know, in a more informal manner. Do I have any questions from the floor?
Is there a question on the floor? No?
There's one here.
Yeah.
Curious, how do you get money or funding to use your work?
As with any NGO, fundraising is always the main challenge. So what we do is that we do a lot of fundraising activities, and also the press and the media have been very supportive of what we are doing, basically because we are very transparent. Every week, the number of packets, who are our sponsors, who are the volunteers, which are the routes that we are doing, is all up on our website every week. So whenever you know, the press writes about us, Malaysians, because Malaysians are very generous, so they'll call up and say, oh, how do I make a contribution? So it is through different ways. One is that through support from the general public. Second is from fundraising from our side. And thirdly also, some corporations like MBank have been very supportive. In fact, just as I was driving here to Starbucks, did I say Starbucks is a good thing? As I was driving here to Starbucks, I got a call from MBank that they'll be supporting us with another big donation, which we'll be announcing on Monday. Does that answer your question?
Dato, I have a question. From your experience of the homeless, what were their conditions as such that they became homeless? And also, now that you have set up in Jalan Imbi as well, share with us some success stories of those that were homeless and now actually part of society again, where they're contributing as well.
See, when we first started, we will have the homeless queue up for the food, and some of them will be quite decently dressed. You know, it's quite unlike the homeless that we have in mind. And I did tell my committee, I said, no, I don't think we should give this one, I don't think we should give it to this one, because generally we are dealing with public fund. Every single ringgit that someone donates to us is given to us with a lot of hope and trust. Hence, I'm not proud when I declare that, oh, this week we have fed 1,500 people. But quite frankly, out of this 1,500 people, what is the percentage that's really the deserving? That is of utmost importance. So when we started, there are some of them that's quite decently dressed. And like, no, we don't give it to them. Now, Kechara Soup Kitchen is very different in the sense that we encourage our volunteers to talk with the recipient. So we would ask them, why are you on the streets? How old are you? How has your week been? And why aren't you working? So we ask them questions like that. And it was only then that we realized that, geez, there are so many reasons that they are on the streets, which we ourselves never thought of, and you just can't comprehend. One could be that this group of people whom I've just described, the more decently dressed ones, they fall into the category of workers who earn between 800 ringgit to 1,200 a month. Their families probably could be living in Kajang, Semenyih, Klang, somewhere like that. And there is no way with that kind of salary that they are able to rent a room or even to share a room with their colleagues here in the Klang Valley. So what they do, they sleep outside closed shop lots. In the morning, they get up, go to a public toilet, wash up, and go to work. And only during the weekends, they get to go back to their family. Because bus fare is not exactly very cheap, So that's one category of people. Second is we have a lot of old senior citizens who are on the street, and a majority of them are actually singles. Then we also have another group whereby they can't get along with their family members, differences of ideas, hence they leave home. So people are on the streets for various reasons.
Question, Kara.
I think I didn't answer the second part of your question.
Yes, success
which is that our success story. See, like I explained earlier, Kechara Soup Kitchen doesn't just give food, we give hope. And what does this mean? Is that we first give them food, we talk to them, we give them some sense of hope and comfort by talking to them, and most of them will tell us, oh, their sob stories, and that's how we try to help them. So our Kechara Soup Kitchen doesn't just give food, we provide laundry facilities, we provide counselling facilities, we give them first aid, we also do job placement. And to date, we have placed more than 60 homeless into jobs from hotels to restaurants to security firm. This is how we place them. We've also reunited families because we are constantly on the street, and people will call us up and say, oh, my mother ran away from home because she's got Alzheimer's disease, and this is how she looks like. And when you go down the streets, please look out for her. So we've managed to reunite 3 families. We have also given medical aid to many, many homeless. And I can stand here now proudly tell you that in 2 weeks' time, Kechara Soup Kitchen will also be launching a mobile clinic. We're working with the ambulance company whereby we will provide free medical service to the urban poor.
Dato Ruby, when you first started, what was the single most difficult problem you faced years ago, and what is the biggest challenge that the soup kitchen is facing today? It seems that it's changed so much in nature.
Believe it or not, it is to find the homeless. Because, many people ask us, by you giving food to them every day, don't you think that you're spoiling them? Don't you think that, they will say that, oh, since I have food, now I don't need to look for work. And then I turn around and I ask them this. I said, put yourself in the recipient's shoes. Just by receiving one packet of food a day, does that demotivate you to get the job? I mean, come on, it's just a packet of food, So, many of them, they've got very low self-esteem. They've been on the streets for so long, and they're just sitting there every day. Hundreds of people walk past them without even noticing that there is a human being there. And this is what we're trying to give back to them, to build their self-esteem. So, having said that, many of them actually shy away from receiving food. They'll be hiding, very shy. And that was the most challenging part, to go to them, to talk to them, to gain their trust, to tell them that we are here to help and not to discriminate or to suppress or to put you down. That is why Kechara Soup Kitchen's volunteers are always being reminded that please serve and give them dignity. Please always give with both hands. Go down to them, talk to them, and just ask them, just make their day. Also, how was your week, Have you been well? Did you manage to get enough food? Things like that. And so that was the challenging part, which is to look and to find the homeless. As we evolved, obviously fundraising is always been an issue with any NGO, but I must say that I don't think I should even put any emphasis on talking about challenges for Kechara Soup Kitchen, simply because we've been very fortunate, and generally the public, the corporations have all been very supportive of what we're doing. So it's manageable.
Hi, Dato, I think what you're doing is brilliant, but since you ask your volunteers to get acquainted with all these homeless people, do you keep statistics of people that you give?
Definitely. At the moment in our data bank, we've got 1,400 names, and it's quite a comprehensive survey that we do on them, It's not just the name, or we have their name, their IC number, where they sleep at night, why are they on the streets, what are their hopes, what do they plan to do, and what are their previous job experience. It's quite a comprehensive form, which I'm proud to say that even our ministry takes this data from us. We are the only soup kitchen in town, or rather in this country, that has this kind of a data, because we are always working with the people on the streets.
Hello. Okay. So, Dato, you also, I read in your profile that your 3 kids have joined you, graduated and joined you. Can you introduce your children? Because actually, I would like to ask them why they decided to graduate, come back and join. And how is it like working with mommy? Yeah, can you introduce your children?
Over there, the girl in the blue dress, that's Jin Ai, that's my oldest baby. She's turning 25. She graduated from Warren University with a psychology degree, worked for a year in London Probation Agency. This is the agency that actually does rehabilitation programs for the ex-convicts. She was there for a year, and she decided to come back and have money. So we'll have to ask her why.
Can we get one of them on stage and ask, because it seems that you're also a family, very close-knit family as well, so we actually like to get their perspective as well on the Kechara Soup Kitchen, something from the younger generation. actually come back and contribute as well to the Kechara Soup Kitchen and your role as well?
The main reason why I came back, well actually I was actually quite happy when I was there in London, and I was doing quite well there. I came back to Malaysia on a holiday for about a month, and at the end of the trip I had a meeting with our spiritual guide, and I've known him since I was about 10 years old, so what he says actually has a lot of effect on me. And when I was meeting with our spiritual guide, he said to me, "Oh, it's so nice to hear that you'll be moving back here permanently." And I thought, well, that must be a sign. So that's what I did. I didn't actually go back to London to get any of my things. I just stayed back in Malaysia, and I went straight to work with Mum in KSK. And at the moment, I'm there as the e-communications director. So that involves maintaining and developing KSK's presence online. So all of the information that you see, all the statistics online, that's basically my job.
You've got some competition here. Another social media girl.
Well, let's give her a round of applause. So if you could explain to us what are your two other children? Are they also involved?
Yes.
You could just share with us how your other two children are involved, and also share with us about your organization. How big is it? Volunteer-based, or the core team? Are they volunteer-based, or are they permanent? Yeah.
This girl that has been toying with the camera, the girl in blue. She's Jin Mei, turning 23. She graduated from with an accounting and finance degree.
She doesn't even know. She's my mom.
I've been working too hard. You know, UK unis are not exactly very cheap. Yes. So would you like to tell everyone what you're doing?
Yay!
Can I just stand here?
On stage, share with us.
Hello. Okay, why I joined. The reason why I joined was because I saw what my mom was doing, and she has grown quite a lot since I've known her. Since when I was young, I used to see her as a typical tie-tie, you know, go out, go shopping, come back. And I mean, I must have... But yeah, and she started doing KSK, and I saw what she was doing, and I saw that the work that she's been doing has benefited a lot of people, and it is something that is very worth her time. And she has grown into somebody who's very selfless, very generous, and very compassionate towards all beings. And the reason why I joined was because I aspired to be somebody like her. Somebody. Enough of commercial break. Let's get on with the show.
How's your son involved as well?
Yes, that's Clifford. Clifford will be graduating in 2 months' time with accounting and finance degree also, and then he'll be joining Malaysian Flying Academy because it has always been his ambition to be a commercial pilot. But meanwhile, he volunteers in Kechara Soup Kitchen just as a volunteer without a specific portfolio. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to take 2 more questions from the audience. Is there enough? Okay, there's one there, and then I'll take you.
Dato Ruby, a bit more personal question. Passion and commitment obviously shine through. How did you know that this was the work for you? That this was it, this is your life calling? How did you actually know?
That's why we have a spiritual guide. No, all jokes aside. Yes, like I said, you know, in the beginning of my talk, is that it was my spiritual guide who told me to do it, and he knows my niche. it kind of like, it became a natural progression, because you know, when you're out there, you're feeding, and week after week they see you, it becomes like a part of your family. And I used to joke with my friends, I said, you know, from 3 in the family, which is all these 3 of them, I now have got 1,500 members in my family, and that's one big happy family. So, you know, that there is no turning back. There is no way that I can stop, or you know, or to call it a day, because they are out there and they need help. And you know, there is this conscious thing that tells me that I have to keep growing, and I have to keep growing Kechara Soup Kitchen, and to be able to serve a wider group of people. I was asked this same question actually yesterday. UBS Wealth Management from Singapore, they sent some people up to ask me some questions. And they said, you know, when you walked into the office, you know, to us, you look like another ordinary businesswoman. But when you start talking about your work, Kechara Soup Kitchen, that is, you know, your whole, you know, personality comes alive, and you become so passionate, and you know, you're so gung-ho. So she said, what is the drive? And I answered her the same thing. I said, well, my spiritual guide definitely have a foresight, you know, because he told me to do this, and really, I think I have grown with Kechara Soup Kitchen, and I will continue to bring it to even to other countries. I managed to start Kechara Soup Kitchen in Indonesia just before Chinese New Year. Over there, we do our own fundraising among the Indonesians there, and every week now we are feeding 300 people. And also do a lot of student sponsorship program. And Kechara Soup Kitchen Penang started about a year ago. Now we serve about 400 every week, and our building is under renovation now. So come mid-April, we'll be fully operational in Penang also. So there's no turning back. It's just going to keep going.
I think there's one question over there.
Yeah, I think there's some of us here who may also be like your daughter Jin Mei, wanting to aspire to be selfless and like yourself. The question would be, how do people in the public find out or go about volunteering? How do they go to help out with this sort of for example, what sort of people would you accept, and what is the commitment level like?
See, what happens is that in Kechara Soup Kitchen, we serve the homeless every day of the week, from Monday to Friday. They come to our building to get food. And then after that, we use our Kechara Soup Kitchen van to go to the urban poor to serve. So we need volunteers during the day, weekday that is, between 11 to 1:30 to help us in the kitchen. So that's one way the general public can come in to support. And then on Saturday nights, we call it our midnight run, whereby we go down to the streets of Kuala Lumpur to areas like Pudu Raya, Pudu Market, Masjid Jamik, Brickfield, Sentul, and we serve 750. Again, we need food and we need volunteers. So that's another, if for working people, they're not able to do it during the weekday, they can also do it the midnight run. So, other than that, occasionally we also have people dropping food at our doorstep, like uncooked rice. They'll just leave it there. So that's another way of helping. And I would like to appeal to everyone who has got doctor friends, you know, who are medical officers, doctors, if they would like to do any voluntary work, to please contact us, because when we start our mobile clinic, we will be needing medical officers or even senior nurses to be able to dispense medication.
Thank you, Dato. And for some of us that actually, hey, I want to take part in this and want to take action, how can we find out more information and how do we sign up and where do we go?
So now is the commercial break, yeah?
Yes, commercial break.
Okay, our website is www.kechara.com/ksk. Or you can go after this guy on his handphone after the talk, and he'll pass out his name cards to you. Very often when we are in the papers or in magazines, there is also our contact numbers that's stated in it.
Okay, so they can go to the site and then register through the site?
They'll give Justin a call, and then they'll need to come for a briefing on Saturday evening, and then they'll sign up as a volunteer to go on the rounds with us.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Dato. Before you go, Dato, I know you're such a huge fan of Starbucks, right? Our CEO, Tim Fernandez, actually has a gift from you courtesy of Starbucks. So, Tim Fernandez, a token of appreciation.
I just have a last thing to say, is that don't just think that charity work is for those who are materially successful. Every one of us can play a role in contributing back to the society. Like the gentleman asked us just now, how can I help? And that's one way you can come volunteer. So don't just think that charity work is only just about giving money. No. Those who do not have the time but would like to contribute financially, fine. And for those who can come and provide your time, your effort, or even your advice, for that matter, everyone is welcome. So don't just. I hope that whatever that I shared here with everyone will make a difference in your perception on how a charity is run and what you can do to contribute to a charitable organization. I mean, not necessarily it has to be Kechara Soup Kitchen. And one last thing also is that, don't just talk and share with your friends and express, I want to do charity work when I am blah blah blah, when my kids are grown up. I want to do charity work when I've gotten this promotion, or I want to do charity work, when my daughter gets married. There is no right time to do charity work. What we all need to do is that just step off, take baby steps. Like I said, if you can offer once a week, even 2 hours to do community work for any organization, take baby steps, start, and I promise you, it will make a big difference in your lives. Okay?